Hello! Welcome to this championship edition of the FANMEN podcast. I'm DJ Gove.
Chris Davis.
Sean Hogarty.
How's it going?
It's pretty good, man.
All good.
I feel like I haven't seen you guys in about 3 years.
It
It's
feels
been a
like
hot
it's
minute,
been a while.
Yeah, so
It's been a while.
we had a gap. You guys do a lot of traveling for work, and some other stuff has come up, and just the timing hasn't worked out.
We got to empty the archives, though.
We did. We got to empty the archives. Yeah, I put the 80s music episode out that we
The cupboard is officially bare.
It's officially bare, so we have to stock that back up.
So in the barren wasteland of not having any episodes to put out, what happened, DJ?
So this is probably a touchy subject because I'm sure no one outside of our little tiny corner of the United States cares.
And I don't care about your opinion.
I don't give a fuck either.
I could care
So
less.
one of the reasons why people hate us the most, for the 6th time, our beloved New England Patriots won the Super Bowl.
Goat.
Again.
The long 3-month championship drought is over.
Yes. The poor deprived children of New England can have their parade. Had their parade. It was a fucking
Daughter
nightmare.
can finally sleep again.
Yeah, we'll get there. So we never really done a full sports episode. One thing, we're all into a lot of stuff. Football is up there for me. It's very, very important. I'm one of those maniac football people.
I will go so far as to say it's way more important than anything else we talk about today.
Yeah.
I care about this way more.
And similar to most other subjects, I am not nearly as crazy or knowledgeable as either of you losers. But that said,
Loser.
I haven't missed a Pats game in 15, 20 years on my butt, not at the stadium, on a TV.
Yeah. So, I mean, this one was different. This one felt different.
It's a different experience.
It was. It wasn't like the crazy comeback. It wasn't the offensive explosion. It was the best defensive effort ever given in probably an NFL game, period.
A lot of people were not happy with...
Just pause for a second. DJ is prone to hyperbole in pretty much all things. So just take it with a grain of salt.
It's the greatest defensive effort in the history of the Super Bowl.
The last TV show he watched at 7:30 was the greatest thing he ever watched.
It was. Well, no, like it's not just me. Like, it's a championship game. You took a defense that was ranked towards the bottom. I think we've had conversations, points in times this year, the Tennessee game and the Detroit game. This is your defense, right?
We went point counterpoint.
Yeah.
And again, the recency bias. DJ would say, "Shit, they gave up 30 again." And I'd say they're ranked 5th in the league in defense.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, but they suck. Every player sucks.
In fairness, I have never claimed rationale to be my strong suit. But
not with the Patriots.
You took a team that averaged 30-something, like 32.4 points a game or something like that, and held them to 3 points.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Smothered them. Yeah. Smothered them.
Definitely a more boring game for, I think, a lot of folks that weren't directly invested in the outcome. I think the ratings were not good.
Actually, it was the second highest ranked Super Bowl
ratings
of the last 10 years. Yeah,
I thought the ratings were way down.
No, second.
I thought the overnight
it's stats. They're probably both accurate from the right perspective.
Depending on exactly.
True.
Depending on what breakdown.
What article you read?
Yeah. But
highest in the old person demographic.
For me,
that was just in New England second highest.
Obviously vested in the outcome. I enjoyed seeing game plan versus game plan. I mean, it was clear that they were working back and forth and had answers, and the players were, so many things came down to just slight misses or slight tweaks or slight beats.
Yep. And the Rams made no tweaks.
Yeah.
They made no tweaks.
You had a young quarterback that crapped his pants.
That kid looked like obviously has way more money than me, and he's a better athlete than me, and he's more successful than me. But that kid looked like he had never played a football game in his life at points in time. He looked like a fucking lost puppy in headlights. No idea. The Kyle Van Noy sack. Kyle Van Noy runs at him. He drops to his knees. I give up.
That came out the morning of. The Patriots saw something on film that...
And like, we're gonna fuck this kid up.
Yeah, they knew they were going to make him poop his pants.
Yep, and they got him.
Mm-hmm.
How did it look live, Chris Davis, from...
Oh, yeah. Have we not mentioned?
Yeah.
DJ and I talk about wanting to be Chris Davis in so many different ways.
We were at the airport on the layover coming back from Los Angeles, which we'll get to in the next episode. And I see him, he's playing on his phone. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, nothing. I'm like, I knew it. I was like, I bought tickets.
Yeah.
But he did it for a good reason. So you want to tell the story about tickets?
Yeah. So my father actually turned 70 years old this year.
Happy birthday, Mr. Davis.
So, and Mr. Davis, he won't pay to go see a Red Sox game, let alone go to anything like this.
Right.
So, Sean, as a fellow traveler,
over,
you tend to amass lots and lots of reward points.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So, screwing
my wife
around in
spends
our
That's
ridiculous delay in Los Angeles, which we'll talk about later, found the car, found the hotel, found the flights, all with points.
There you go.
So once I hit the trifecta, then it's like, okay, you have to spend money on the tickets.
Yeah.
Swallow hard and give them give them the experience of a lifetime.
Yep.
And this guy who doesn't get excited about anything was like a little schoolgirl.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he smiled the entire weekend. It worked out cool. My cousin and his daughter ended up being down there.
Nice.
So we were able to hang out with them for a couple days. So it was a very cool experience to be able to share it with Dad.
It was cool to see pictures. It was cool to even though we weren't like texting back and forth during everything, it was nice to know, that you guys were there. And the pictures we saw before and after, definitely, like you said, he looked thrilled. And how could you not be?
I know. I think you had a good time.
Yeah.
You found a tailgate buddy too, didn't you?
My cousin, you mean the person I bumped into or what we were doing?
Yeah, the pictures that you sent us.
Yeah, so coming out of the NFL tailgate, my cousin, the bastard, is friends with one of my minority owners of the Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
So he got hooked up. He got his tickets for free. He was able to get us all passes into the league tailgate party to go see Tim McGraw and Al Black and all the people that are playing in there. And as we're wandering into the stadium, who do I literally bump into but Maria Menounos?
Nice.
Who is quite possibly the queen of
Boston
sports fans.
Yep.
Nicest person in the freaking world.
Yeah.
Stopped, took pictures. I don't think my little cousin had any idea who she was, but she knew she was famous. So she had to take a picture with her.
Yep.
I'm sure it went on Instagram with misspelled names and shit like that.
Yeah.
But that's right. No harm, Tracy. But yeah, so I got to take a picture with her before the game. I think I texted you, DJ.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
you guys
It was
and
to us.
Yeah.
this has to be a good sign.
Yeah. That was the only thing where it's like, even though like you went to the Super Bowl and all this stuff, and I wasn't like super jelly because I knew you went for a good reason. It was awesome.
Yeah.
But when you said that, I was like, oh, you bastard.
DJ is all about the meet and
She
greet.
smells just as nice as you think.
Yeah, I'm a big meat guy.
She looked like she smelled.
She's a good hugger.
She's on Entertainment Tonight or something like that, or one of those shows, Inside Edition or something like that.
She owns her own company. I'll have to look up the
I
name
know that.
of it.
Yeah, I know her husband owns like a TV company too.
She has a production company where she's in the movie theaters doing the first.
Oh yeah,
look.
that's
Oh,
right.
that's
Yeah,
right.
that's
Yeah.
right. That's
She
right.
was on E. She was
has a
on.
bunch of that-
yeah,
I just know I've seen her for years and years and years and years.
I know her because she pops onto WWE every now and then, and she's on Bar Rescue all the time.
Bar Rescue.
Yeah,
I think she may be one of the producers.
Yeah, and she's buddies with Tapper, so she does like a lot of the recon work.
She used to come back all the time for the Celtics games in that 08 championship run.
Yeah.
We're going to date it a little bit. That was also when Dane Cook was at the height of his power selling out arenas. So you'd see the two of them hanging out courtside and stuff like that. So no, it was very cool experience.
What was the experience like? Right. I've been in a few, major league, major sports events. I saw a no-hitter at Fenway, Red Sox no-hitter at Fenway, one of the peaks of my fan experience, the roar, the jubilation. What was it like there where you've got a pretty polarized set of fans?
It wasn't as polarized as it was a home game.
It was a home
Oh
game.
yeah.
It was probably 75-25, if not more.
Okay.
I mean, it sounded like you were at Gillette.
Okay.
Yeah,
It really
you
did.
could hear that. Like we had the Bosch around on my uncle's house,
Yeah.
and literally you could just hear the whole. You could hear the Brady.
Oh yeah. Definitely heard that.
And like when Goff has the ball, it's loud as hell. When Brady has the ball,
Yeah.
you can't
You
hear
could hear
it.
a pin drop.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, it was this was a different experience for me. This was more about getting him his win.
Yeah.
Like I really, really wanted him to see a win.
Yeah.
Wanted him to be able to experience that.
Yeah.
I'd been there for the other side of it,
Yeah.
and it sucks.
I went to can't remember how many years ago it was, probably 7 or something. First round of the playoffs. I can't remember whether it was first round or we had a bye, but we played the Ravens at Gillette.
Mm-hmm.
And
I was probably there.
it was freezing, it was like 5 degrees, tailgating, cooking shit in the parking lot.
Night
Had a
game,
great time. It was an evening game. It was.
Got the Stephen Ridley's dead game when he got hit in the head and dropped the ball.
I'm not sure.
That would have been back in
2013.
So I took my brother-in-law, right?
No,
Figured I'd take him to a,
was it earlier than that?
The year Baltimore won the Super Bowl.
It was the one, I don't remember what happened after because the Pats didn't show up to the game, right?
That might have been that one.
We sat down,
They beat us
kickoff.
twice.
I think they returned a kickoff for a touchdown.
Oh, you went to the Ray Rice first carry 85-yard game.
That might have been.
That was
That game sucked.
2009.
Yeah. It was,
No, so it's 10
yeah.
years ago. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
I was going to say, I'd skip that one.
yeah, I could get tickets on base, through the, there's a base ticketing office where they do military stuff. And so I was able to get tickets. I took my brother-in-law, who's a huge Pats fan, and figured, give him a playoff experience. And it was the experience of being at Gillette, tailgating, all that stuff, fantastic playoff football. The experience of, from second one, the gut punch of your team just not being...
And yeah, it's over from that first
it
play.
was.
80
We
yards.
didn't know. Nowadays, I mean, nothing's over till the end of the game for me.
Yeah, you knew
Right.
that year.
But that year,
No, they
it
didn't.
started. It was
Yeah.
so
they didn't have it that year.
decisive. Yeah.
So since you,
So I'm glad you got to win.
yeah, no, that was awesome. Multiple wins. So Sean brings
Sorry.
up how 10 years ago they got stomped out in the first playoff game. Let's go back to this run here. So what happened the year Sean went hasn't happened too often around here. We are, I mean, it's still going. It's at the end. It's at the tail end. But possibly, well, maybe
I
we'll
think
see.
it's two separate. I think you have to cut it in half.
You do?
That first run ended with the 07 team.
Yeah, you could say that.
Then you went
Yeah.
through a period of rebuilding there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Stops
in
and
those
starts
those
before.
years of rebuilding, you
We're
had
still
one
pennants.
and done.
Yeah, or not
You didn't miss the playoffs.
Yeah.
So can you call that a rebuild when you're still making the playoffs and you only have one and done in the postseason?
Based off of the expectations they've set?
Well,
If you're not
that's-
getting to an
that's-
AFC championship game or competing in one,
That's true. Which
Yeah.
they've done 8 years in a row.
Yeah.
I think it's two separate dynasties.
But there's two consistent things: Belichick and Brady.
Yeah. That's been my favorite thing is I don't even have to. I mean, I certainly enjoy individual players, and we'll come to that later, but I don't need to do anything except show up and enjoy who's playing what, when, who's, it's a team system of really interesting fundamental coaching and execution. I love, that's what I want to see as a sports fan. I want to see the game played well, and that's what the Pats have been.
So let me ask you this, and I'm not pointing at anybody at the table, but based off of what you've just said, why do you think we get the overreaction? You've seen 18 years of this now,
Yep.
where they get it together every single year. So why does a large portion of the fan base turn into Belichick's an idiot, Brady can't play at a certain point every year? Think
Because
Kansas City
hating
4 years
is
ago.
a fundamental
Think-
part of American culture, particularly American sports culture. Hate,
Yeah.
hate. Right?
Yeah.
It hate,
Exactly,
jealousy,
yeah.
bitterness.
Yeah.
But when it's their own fans turning on them.
Well,
Well,
so in fairness,
And I will use fans in little letters.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, so I don't think
That's
Very-
it's a Boston thing. I think it's rooted in a little bit of Irish history in the culture, even though obviously that's not a
Yeah.
defining thing for Boston now. But there's just this, bitchiness about your situation. There's a hair trigger, bitterness. There's a
very
shadowed
reactionary.
self-hatred underneath the covers, right? And so the slightest thing kind of taps into your depression, and that's being a Boston.
yeah. Well, also,
Having lived through 86.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, also the thing too with there's this
Yeah, I hadn't made
I
that
don't-
connection,
yeah.
but you're right. Yeah.
That's where I'll tell you
Yeah.
that story after.
Yeah.
the whole thing with Boston sports fans. Like people don't like us, and granted,
We don't like us either.
exactly. But like every other fan base, you have your real sports people and like your pink caddy people. But I think the biggest thing is I've lived in other states.
Mhm.
I've seen other sports fan bases, and it is kind of true, whether people want to hear it or not, that you will not find another market where the vast majority of people care so much about all four major sports. It doesn't happen, even in New York.
See, that'd be
It doesn't
interesting to
happen.
see the actual stats in that, because I could give a shit about the Celtics or the Bruins.
Oh, I love
Now, that
hockey.
said, I'm not
Yeah.
a huge sports fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think you're right. I just would be interested
Yeah,
in that.
and so I mean, people around here are very knowledgeable. They're very opinionated.
Mhm.
That's how we end up with 2 stations of assholes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Sorry, Felger.
But Christian, it's like I don't very rarely have I ever ripped on Brady or Belichick. Like I mean, Brady has bad games. He's human, barely, but he's had bad games. But I will yell and scream at people on the TV. I'll throw stuff and flip tables, and I'm an asshole when it comes to sports stuff. I have my least favorite people that work for the team, and just the sports stuff.
Hey, do you have April's number? You want to just get on the podcast?
Yeah.
I'm friends with her on Facebook as of today.
Talk about broken furniture and broken hands and all this other fun stuff in football. I have eased up since Peyton Manning retired. The whole Manning Brady thing, Peyton Manning's better, used to chap my ass something fierce.
When your quarterback, outlasts the other graybeards in the league, it does shift a bit.
It does. Plus, the other two is he got his. I always wanted him to have 3. He got his 3. I was like, I want. Well, no. Then I was like, I want him to tie Charles Haley, and it looked for a while like it was never going to happen. And then he got it. And I think once he got the 5, I was like, okay, everything else is just. So Charles Haley was a defensive end, played for the Cowboys and the 49ers. So he has 3 from the Jimmy Johnson Cowboys, and then he's got 2. I think it's 2 from before that, from the end of the Montana era for the Niners when he was drafted by the Niners.
He was.
So he had 5 just because he fell into a good situation.
Yeah.
Granted, Brady did too, but I want him to have that tie. Everything else was going to be gravy. Now the fact that Tom Brady by himself has just as many rings as the almighty Pittsburgh Steelers, so they can't do their 6 rings
I was
bullshit.
a Steelers fan when I was a kid. That's amazing.
But here it is in a microcosm. There's no satisfaction until he beats the best of all time, the highest Super Bowl.
Oh, what kind of standard is that? Yeah.
My gravy portion started after the Seattle Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
They got everything after. They got one more.
Yeah, they got
it back on the tracks, and anything beyond that.
Yeah.
So there's a school of thought that people will bitch and moan about the Giants ones.
Yeah.
You've probably won exactly as many as you should.
Yeah.
Because you can go back through. You shouldn't have won Seattle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have won Atlanta.
Yeah.
This could have been a coin toss.
It hinged on so few things that it could have been a coin toss.
Carolina.
But actually, I would say Carolina more than Atlanta because they adjusted and Atlanta didn't, so they kind of earned that one.
If you don't score the first one, if you don't score the field goal in regulation, you lose that game.
Yeah. Well,
that whole fourth quarter was the Rams.
Fuck, and Brady has to make that first completion when he gets the ball back with a minute left. That scramble to J.R. Redmond.
Yep.
Yeah.
If he takes that sack, it's over.
That's one of the things. While the last number of years has trained me as a Pats fan to, down and out in the fourth quarter, but Brady gets the ball, and you're like, you've seen it enough that you're like, okay, this going through the Sox in 2007 was it or 2000? When were they down 3?
2004.
2004, right? Seeing that and seeing it with Brady and the Pats enough lately, it's really you can't give up the possibility of it coming out. But every game, the Pats seem to play up or down to the level they need to make it close, which is frustrating.
It is. I honestly thought this year was going to be the year that feet up on the table, kick back.
One of the games, the first playoff game, who was it against? Where they showed up and just crushed them?
Oh, the Chargers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, killed them. A team who on paper
they've always said
was supposed to be better than
this number.
Yeah. They own them.
But this was one of their best end-to-end games that they've shown in years.
It was.
Certainly this season.
It was dominant. It was the best they played all year.
Yeah.
No question.
But I mean, it's just, but you said it's one of those things where even like the Kansas City game, I was pissed that they let Kansas City come back into it. But then as soon as they won that coin flip in overtime, I was like, oh, ball game.
Yeah.
Because Tom's going to come down and just ram it down their throat.
Yeah, as soon as they won the coin flip.
So what do you think? What do you guys think is going to happen with Mahomes? He's the first quarterback I've seen in a while that I was actually excited to watch. He's got an interesting mix of skills.
He's fun to watch.
He's
physically he's insane.
Yeah. And he's young. I mean,
he is the thing, and it's like this is the bastard Boston fan. Like I think he's gonna get one, just like Rodgers got one. I think it's gonna happen, but I think he's gonna only get one unless he goes to a different team with a different coach. But also, I could easily because here's the thing with that kid. I could easily it wouldn't surprise me if one game, even this year and next year, whatever, or next year, the year after. He's running around. He whoops around. He's playing the Broncos. He goes to make one of those shortstop throws. Von Miller hits his elbow, and boom, Tommy Johns. It's over.
And that would be bad.
I mean, I could see it just because I've seen, you've seen kids like him the runaround ones that just they take these bad injuries.
Yeah.
Grant, even though you can't touch
I don't think
quarterback.
you've seen one of his talent level though.
Oh no. The arm talent is.
He's on a
I hate
different
that fucking
level.
round.
He's on a different level when it comes to that.
Maybe since Vic, the most exciting guy since Vic.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Vick could kneel in an end zone and throw it through the friggin' opposite uprights.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it was insane. So
He's in the rarefied air with your boy. There's only 3 of them with 50.
yeah, yep, that is true. But yeah, he's in there.
It still pisses him off that Manning get it.
Yeah.
I fucking hate Peyton Manning. No, but no, it's like
Hey, Eli has more. That's all you need to know. Doesn't matter who.
same amount.
Yeah,
Same amount. They both
that's
have 2.
right.
That's,
No, Eli has more. Peyton has 1.5.
that's true. Yeah,
He didn't do shit in the
Peyton
last
has one, and the corpse of Peyton Manning has one.
Exactly.
Oh.
Von Miller has
Dude,
one.
that was like weekend at Bernie's at quarterback that year. I can't
It was
believe.
like playing Duck Hunt on Nintendo. Every time the ball came out, you wanted to shoot the damn thing down.
Yep.
It was ridiculous.
But yeah, but we're spoiled. So since they won the first one in 2001, 2001 season.
Yep.
So that was the year I got out of high school. And then, sorry guys.
You suck.
And then they had a down year after that. The only Brady year they didn't make the playoffs was to the 2002 season. They went 9-7. That was they cut Lawyer Malloy, who was their safety, big team leader, and they had the Lawyer Malloy game week 1 against Buffalo. And
No.
no,
They cut Laura away the next year.
next year. Oh, that's
They
right. That was
they lost
3-0-3.
31-0. Then they beat
I'm up here.
Buffalo 31-0
Yeah.
the last.
Yeah,
Which
that's
is
Don't
random.
play this
Yeah.
game with
Sorry,
me,
no.
son.
Well, I was just a kid.
Come on, I'll
Remember.
take you to the woodshed. Let's go.
But 2002 was a down year, 9-7, just sophomore slump kind of stuff.
Mhm.
Was someone hurt that year? Did they lose some? No one really.
No, they
There's
just had the
nothing
hangover. They
had the
were like
hangover.
the Eagles this year. Yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, like if you look on paper, that 01 Patriots team wasn't overly talented. It's probably the worst of the Super Bowl teams.
20-something free agents they signed in the offseason.
Yeah. I mean, we had Otis Smith, and I mean, just it wasn't like
I'd have to go back and look at it. Talent-wise, this was probably the worst of your Super Bowl teams. You have recency bias because you saw these guys play well.
Yeah.
But
No,
how
I
many
know.
cast-offs? You had one Pro Bowler.
It was a Franken
Yeah.
team.
it was. But I mean, Ingrid,
Yeah.
even though
You had Hightower healthy.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
the thing. You had Hightower healthy. I mean, you do technically have a Hall of Fame tight end on this team, even though he's not what he used to be. Possibly,
Frank and Gronk.
you have a Frank and Gronk. You have a borderline Hall of Fame receiver on this team.
That defense for the first run
Yeah.
Mhm.
was you give more credit to the defense in those 3 games.
Yeah.
Those 3 Super Bowls.
Especially that
than
game, shutting down the
That
Rams.
team was stacked.
That Rams team.
Yeah.
That Rams team, like the fact that they
That-
held the Rams team to 17 points was insane.
Malloy and
17.
Law and
Yeah.
You still had Willie. You still had Teddy in the middle.
Yep. Ted Johnson.
Ted Johnson was in the middle. Yeah. You had
Did you
Anthony
have
Pleasant was on that team.
Sam Adams, was he on that team? Was he 03 and 04?
He was. I get him out of order now.
Yeah, me too.
None of
He
that
may have
matters.
been on the room. Brian Cox.
Brian Cox, yep.
I thought you said, never mind.
DJ's Cox? No.
No.
You were
No,
looking
Brian-
at her.
yeah.
I heard buying.
Uh-huh.
Bang.
Brian Cox? Bags and bags full of Cox.
So they had the hangover, and then they went into the 03 season. That team, that was the Lawyer Malloy year, so they cut Lawyer Malloy, but they signed Rodney Harrison.
Yeah.
I love Rodney Harrison.
Mhm.
He's an all-timer. That
Just
team,
forgot to take the HGH before the most important play of his life, but
Yep,
we
exactly.
won't hold that against
so
him.
that team went through the season pretty easily. They were the number 1 seed that year, I believe. Ended up beating the Panthers in the Super Bowl. Brady won another MVP.
Mm-hmm.
Then you had 04. 04 to me, on my opinion, 04 best Patriots team ever. They were only the number 2 seed because Pittsburgh went 15-1 that year because they had an easier schedule and the Patriots kind of lollygagged through parts of it. They lost to Miami, I think, again that year. But you had Tom Brady, Troy Brown at the peak of Troy Brownness. You traded for Corey Dillon. You traded a second-round pick for Corey Dillon.
Mhm.
You had Willie and Teddy and Rodney and, I mean, Ty Law. And it was just, they were just stacked. They were stacked that year.
I have trouble going against 07
I think the 04 team beats the 07 team.
because you had a younger defense.
Tell me Ty Law with Rodney on the top can't take care of Randy Moss? The 04
Oh, I'll tell you that in no uncertain terms.
Yeah.
Nobody could take care of Randy Moss.
I know.
Look at what he was doing to Revis in his prime.
I know.
He made him his bitch.
I know. We're going to get there.
There was some great shots of...
I still think 04 wins the team.
Maybe.
Because that 07 defense wasn't that great.
It was just Randy's birthday.
Yeah.
So they were showing clips of some of the 23 touchdowns he had in that 07.
Oh, yeah.
23.
Game one,
Out
was
of
on,
the 50.
his first touchdown to Patriots was on Revis.
Revis and 3 other Jets chasing him across the field.
Yeah. Oh, no, dude.
Do not forget the one-handed catch in the back of the end zone where it looked like it was going through the goalpost, for God's sakes. And all of a sudden, this one mitt comes up.
Oh, yeah.
It was...
Yeah.
No.
He was otherworldly.
Randy Moss is going to be... Well, then again, Randy Moss kind of disappeared in that Super Bowl a little bit.
Don't forget, on that Hail Mary, he missed it by about an inch.
Yeah, that's true.
And that was the third time they made him run down.
Yeah. So we're gonna beep for a second.
Well, no, I don't think we should beep. I was going to comment on the fact that you guys are talking away about stuff that
as you're
I
ordering ice
vaguely
cream?
know, but my memory for stats and years and stuff like this is crap. But
This is my life.
But Chris's lovely wife Heather has texted us a
milk and cookies
flavor board from a local ice cream shop, and so I was ordering a small chai almond ice cream cup and
small.
Bananas Foster.
Yeah, I know.
I can think of as the dessert at Ohana when I see that.
So, Chris, who is this? What ice cream place is this? New City? What is it?
Yes, this is a New City Creamery, Main Street, Hudson.
Main Street, Hudson, Massachusetts. Very good
excellent
flavors.
Speakeasy on the back of this, yeah.
Really? Like with booze?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Probably only holds like somewhere between 12 and 15 people. But the whole hit the buzzer.
Nice.
Little slide. It's a cool spot.
Interesting. So yeah, we're ordering ice cream, which is
the children are getting their smalls, and I'm going to get a big one
because you're Chris Davis. Damn,
and that's how I fucking roll.
What are you getting, DJ?
I went with chocolate covered cherry.
It's pretty good. I may have to
give that one a whirl.
Sneak a taste of that.
Okay, so Sean, what would you rank as your top Patriots team of this run?
So this gets back to my lack of fundamental knowledge plus memory.
It's exactly why I'm putting you on the spot.
Right. For me, the Patriots have been, I've been in Boston since '89, but, so Bledsoe and Parcells, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
Parcells saved it.
But
the combination of the two of them.
Yeah, but the fact is, the Patriots to me are Brady and Belichick, and then there's lots of names, and I'll talk about some of them in a few. But for me, that's what it is. It's been the system that has brought people in and out, problem talents and questionable talents and criminals, and had
they didn't know that at the time.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
they usually cut them if they find.
Yeah, but.
Yeah, you drafted Dexter.
But I've just loved seeing that system and team approach and you come here and we'll distill your talent and squeeze you into a spot in the system. And so I don't have a favorite team. The team is this continuous thing that has somehow maintained pretty consistent, playoff championship level excellence without me having a favorite team.
Going from the Seattle Super Bowl to this one, they changed over everybody, what 15, 16 players?
Yeah.
It was 70-something% of the team.
It's insane. And the guys are doing it with, the Seattle game will go to Malcolm Butler. Undrafted free agent, went to Western Alabama, I think.
Yeah. How many people have left the Patriots and gone on to not equaling anything close to what they were doing?
Pretty much all of them.
Damn near all of them.
Right.
Malcolm Butler.
Seymour had one great year.
Yeah. Malcolm Butler was statistically the worst cornerback in the NFL this year.
Yeah. Now,
he wasn't that far off last year when people were bitching that he didn't play.
Yeah, no, I know.
Of course, that makes it, for me, more about Belichick than about those players, right? It's about the system, not about, he left and he sucked. And, it's this complexity that is team sports.
They have had players that, so they do have your guys that where the hell, where did he come from? The Vrabels and the Edelmans and stuff like that. But they've had guys on this team that are all-timers. He doesn't get a lot of recognition. Will McGinnis is an all-timer.
Oh, yeah.
Brewski.
Yeah, but that's not his. Brewski wasn't his.
No,
these are Parcells draft picks.
I know they are, but they were on the team still.
They were all pros before.
Yeah,
but they were anchors of the team.
They were the veteran core that he had coming in.
And Belichick coached him as a defensive assistant.
That's true.
He did. He had that one year.
Just they seem to get these guys to just know where the ball is. Hightower, Mr. Super Bowl. Is Dante all these last three Super Bowls, Super Bowl, you can look at Hightower saying like Hightower made the play that changed the game.
That's the one high defensive draft pick. He was a stud coming out of Alabama.
Yeah.
They finally used a first round pick on one of those guys.
Yeah, and
him and Jones.
It was him and Jones the same way. I think it was. I want to say they were 20 and 23,
something like
21,
that.
21, 23. And you could take all three of these games because I can say that you won all three of these games because of Dante Hightower.
Sure.
The Seattle game, he has a separated shoulder and he pops Marshawn Lynch.
He got the stop
before the pick. The Atlanta game, that strip sack on Matt Ryan was a thing of beauty. In this game, he hit Jared Goff so hard on that sack that it just put the kid in the tank. He was done after that. He wanted no part of anything after that.
Those sacks were so...
What did they get him, 6 times or something like that?
For like 100 yards.
Four sacks. So there was it was like double-digit quarterback hits.
Were the tackles for losses, did they exceed the net positive yards of the offense?
They were up until like the fourth quarter.
Yeah, they put together a couple drives there.
Yeah, they had like some garbage time kind of looking stuff, prevent mode, defense kind of shit.
Yeah.
They should have had 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
The guy we dumped in the offseason.
Yeah, imagine that. And once again, they trade Brandon Cooks for a first-round pick. They end up playing in the Super Bowl. He has 120 yards, but like I said, they were all like prevent-y kind of yards. He had that one slant that was okay, but same thing. Drops the touchdown and then just stands there and doesn't make an intercept of the ball, and Jason McCourty comes and wipes it out.
Awful throw by Goff.
Yep.
And he noticed him about 2 seconds too late.
Yeah.
So for our tolerant FANMEN listeners, most of whom are not in New England, probably many of whom are not real sports folks.
Probably not.
And if you're not, why the hell not?
Yeah, but we apologize for this Patriots. I will apologize for our Patriots episode.
Correct friend.
But we don't want to get too far off our normal approach. We still want to do a top 3, right?
Yeah, we do. We will. So definitely we have a top 3 for today. I just want to kind of end it with saying like, it's no matter what you're into, whether it's movies, just imagine over the course of 20 years, you had 18 Avengers movies and 6 of them were Infinity War.
Honestly, Marvel is the freaking Patriots.
Marvel, exactly.
Right? Kevin Feige is Bill Belichick.
Yeah, we had the 2 giant Super Bowls. They had Age of
He'll
Ultron.
Get there eventually.
Yeah.
They had Age of Ultron. We had the giant Super Bowls. But it's just it's an insane feeling.
It's pretty close, yeah.
Yeah, it's been
sucks so bad.
I know. It's been insane. And it's you can't really describe like what it is, you know.
You know what?
Do you really want to piss off the fans?
I don't think this is it.
We can do that.
But I'd like to go back and revoice Ultron with somebody other than Spader.
Oh,
yeah. See, I like Spader.
Yeah,
I didn't mind Spader. I thought the movie was just shit.
I do think the movie was shit. But if we went back and had who's a comedian in Cop Out? I'm drawing
Tracy Morgan.
Tracy Morgan doing Ultron.
Tracy Morgan doing Ultron. Re-edit it a little bit.
Like funny Ultron?
Oh, yeah.
How about we just forget it happened?
Yeah, that's probably a better idea. But you're right, DJ.
But yeah. So just to piss everyone off. So this is to put New England sports in perspective.
You realize the little aside, every year the Patriots have lost a Super Bowl, one of the other teams has won a championship?
Yes. So
Wait, what?
Yes. So my daughter is 17 years old.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Since my daughter has been born in 2001, 6 Super Bowl wins out of 9 trips.
Mm-hmm.
4 World Series championships, a Stanley Cup.
4 trips.
Yeah, 4 out of 4. 1 Stanley Cup out of 2 trips, and 1 NBA championship out of 2 trips.
That's pretty insane.
That's insane. The kid's 17, and she thinks there's just random parades every year for no reason. Which we went to this year, and it was disgusting. Show how, like, I was talking about how crazy Boston people are. You had almost 2 million people came into Boston just to watch a parade.
Yep.
Insane.
I saw one of them one year. It must have been 2001, actually.
It was probably
so
the first
2002 with the parade.
When they
right?
used to do the longer one and they had the rally at City Hall Plaza after.
I went to
that year I worked in Copley Square.
Oh.
Right. And so our building had a little balcony on one corner of Copley Square, and we got to watch it from there.
They're fun. They are fun. Especially now, you had Gronk on the thing with his shirt off and stuff, and
I can go to Foxwoods and see that shit.
I know,
I'm
that's
out.
true. That's true.
It
So-
wouldn't have been enough money.
Yeah. So I said, like, it's not our normal thing, but we kind of, it's whether you hate it, you hate the Patriots, you hate Boston sports, whatever. It's like, it's a special thing. And just, even if you don't like them, watch it and just understand that something is happening during your lifetime that no other generation is ever going to experience.
You had this and Tiger Woods in the same lifetime.
Yeah.
And the Marvel movies.
Yeah.
Just constant domination. It's insane. It's insane. So for our top 3 this week, for the one person who hasn't shut it off already.
Doesn't matter. I will listen to this episode in perpetuity.
This
wasn't
episode
longer.
is for Chris Davis. So we're going to go top 3 favorite Patriots players.
Oh, I thought we were going to rank top 3 Boston championships.
We could do that too.
No? Oh.
I'm sorry. It's hard to pick from.
We have
It really
so,
is.
there's
We're doing-
so many to
How about
choose
top
from.
3 that I attended?
Oh, you can
Fuck you.
bite us right now.
Fucking asshole. No. So we're
I
gonna,
celebrate that.
I know. So we're going to do top 3 Patriots players. We're going to leave Tom Brady out of it just because
Right.
Tom Brady's the GOAT of all time. So top 3 favorite players,
All right.
not named Brady. And this one has to open to a few honorable mentions because for me, it's like picking your favorite kid. It's almost impossible. So
So I do have a couple honorable
Okay.
mentions, but again, my depth of knowledge is not going to approach your guys. But the 2 that came to mind that were honorable mentions, Wes Welker was one of the first. Yeah, I know where there, and yes, there's some negativity there that's earned. But the thing I loved about him was I just loved the underneath, the consistent, to just go. There was always a way that he was able to help us get first downs. He was part of the overall system, and I just enjoyed his littleness and his, the way he fit into there. I was pissed when he left, and I thought we might never see that sort of player again, and I was wrong multiple times
I
over.
second
Which,
that.
Did you feel better when you saw him in the Grey Kazoo helmet?
yeah, oh yeah,
Better.
yeah,
Dark helmet.
yep.
Dark
And Vince Wilfork, right? Just his heart, his smile, his bigness, his anchorness, his his.
I like this. We're creating a new dictionary here. This is awesome.
Some of my favorite,
vocab.
favorite players are, I don't know if there's multiples, but Wilfork interceptions and
The
watching
Wilfork
him
return for the touchdown, that's
return,
amazing.
just
Always good.
boom, 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 boom,
Yep.
down the field, just amazing. So those 2 guys, and plus Wilfork used to come bowl near my house. So,
Oh, yeah, Pins.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Pins,
Jack
yeah.
Reiner.
I went to his draft party.
Yeah,
Today.
yep. So those are my honorable
Okay,
mentions.
Chris, we got for honorable mentions.
I'm going for a couple short timers, but just all-time talents in the league. My 2 honorable mentions are Randy Moss and Corey Dillon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
You can't.
It's both of them in the one and they really had their one peak season where they shined. You'll never see another season like Moss had in 07.
Oh, no, that was insane.
And the crazy thing was, his career was essentially over. We got him for like a 4th round pick.
Yep.
Next to nothing. What amazed me, and actually Patterson runs a lot. I don't know if we talked about this before. He looks a little bit like Moss, where it doesn't look like they're running fast until you see them separating from everybody
Oh,
else.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's insane.
The strides, and next thing you know, he's 5 yards clear or 10
Yeah.
yards clear of somebody.
He just doesn't have the hands that Randy Moss has.
Yeah.
What Moss did in that one season is just all time. It was unbelievable.
It's probably the Brady to Moss in 07 was some of the most fun I think any fan base has ever had. It was just like, because every time the ball left the air, you're like, oh, this is going to be amazing. What's going to happen now?
Yeah.
That's even though they lost that last game. You listen to NFL Network and a lot of they'll rank that team in your top handful of teams of all time. Dylan in 2004, we've never had a better pure back. Just a violent, bruising. We closed out more games with 7-minute drives.
Oh, yeah.
Because he just ground out first down.
Hydraulic
After
piston.
first down.
Yep.
He could catch the ball out of the backfield. He looked like he may kill you.
Yeah.
He could have been the guy in the last Boy Scout. If he had pulled a pistol out of his pants and started taking people out, it would not have shocked me.
Yeah.
But he was just a man-child.
I was going to say about that one too, because I was one of those guys. I used to always trade for Corey Dillon and Madden, put him on the Patriots.
He was ridiculous.
Yeah, and like think about the Corey Dillon years. Doesn't get as much flash as like the Moss year, because he didn't have like 2,000 yards like Eric
put up
Dickerson.
like
Like
1,600 yards or something.
But like you said, they were violent yards. He would just run through fuckers.
Back then, you didn't have a passing back.
No.
Dylan was your third down back, too.
Yeah.
He was catching the swings.
Yeah,
out of the back.
did you have Kevin Falk that year, right? Or is he?
You may have, but remember, Falk.
He missed. He had fumbles Falk.
He was He fumbled a ton when he first came in.
Was he hurt that year? Maybe it was that the year he was hurt.
It might have been. But yeah, go back and watch that Super Bowl. I mean, you can see him catching screens out of the backfield, and
even when he's getting tackled, you could tell the other guy's feeling it way worse than he is.
Mhm.
He was
no question.
He was a man. That guy. He was awesome.
Yeah.
So my honorable mention list it's I could go on forever just with honorable mentions, but so if you asked high school me, like ninth grade me, who my favorite player was, it was Curtis Martin before he went to the Jets, the son of a bitch, and then the jersey got burned. But I'm going to go.
He's one of those guys.
Yeah.
I am one of those. So my 3 honorable mentions are, even like I said, I love Rodney Harrison. He almost made it, but it's Willie McGinnis is 3 honorable mentions. Logan Mankins, the only NFL player who could probably kill a bear with his bare hands, I think. He was just a maniac, that guy. So strong.
His neck was wider than his face.
Yeah. He was just, I mean, he played on a torn ACL in a Super Bowl year for us. He played center, guard, tackle, wherever you needed him, he played. He was the ultimate soldier. And the 54s, Brewski and Hightower. They're just, I mean, Brewski always seemed to be where the ball was, always made the good plays. Some of the most memorable, like, just still photos, like the snow firework game and stuff. And just, he's awesome. And he's just, I've met him, a couple times. He's just the nicest guy, and just he's an all-time Patriot too. So
that's a good segue. My number 3 is Teddy Bruschi.
Teddy Bruschi.
Yeah.
Almost made my top 3.
Yeah.
But I'm living in the moment a little bit when I get to my list. So
his personality, I mean, obviously what he did on the field, but everything around that and what he, felt like. My sister-in-law is a massive Teddy Bruschi fan, has a couple of the stills from some of those snow games, signed and up on their walls. So yeah, number 3, Teddy Bruschi.
Excellent.
Love Teddy Bruschi.
My number 2 is Adam Vinatieri.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Good call.
None of this happens. None of this gets started without those 2 kicks in the snow. Greatest kick in NFL history.
Oh, definitely.
I'll go to my grave saying that.
Definitely.
It's and to hit 2 of them back to back.
Yeah.
Yep.
1 to tie it and 1 in overtime, and then wins 3 Super Bowls
with kicks.
I mean,
the Eagles one not as crucial, as clutchy as the other 2, but still, same thing.
He was
the difference in points. He was different
by that time. Yeah.
Yeah, Adam Vinatieri, who just signed a new 1-year extension, by the way.
24 years.
In 2019, he signed another extension with the Colts.
Yeah, he's
still playing.
Has he been with the Colts ever since?
Ever since he left us.
Yeah.
Played with us for a decade, and then he's been there for 14 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Whenever he goes in, he better go as a goddamn Patriot, though.
That has to be one of the highest dollars per calorie burned athletic jobs. I mean, you got to be good at it, so it's not like it's a but that's good.
It's crazy. Yeah. So for my number 3, I'm going Edelman.
You bastard.
I am. So like I said, I'm living in the moment a little bit.
You.
Like I said, living a little bit in the moment. It's just something about, because it's so Patriot. Hey, we're going to draft this quarterback in the 7th round from some friggin', bullshit school. I mean, Kent State's not like a bullshit school, but their offense system they run, it's very gimmicky. It's very like fun and gun kind of. It doesn't translate well to the NFL at all. Every player that comes out of there is like a special teamer, Josh Cribbs and stuff like that. But he is just like, he's just such a mean, nasty, scrappy little fucker, man. And just like that catch in the Atlanta game and all the hits he takes over the middle. And he obviously he had a fucking whirl of a time this year in the Super Bowl.
His attention to everything around him.
Oh, yeah.
But his energy just powering through shit.
Yep.
Just dig,
touchdown
dig.
in the Seattle Super Bowl, that run, that inside out route. And this might sound bad, but he's a 5'9" little white guy who just turns people inside out, and you just got to respect something like that. It's like you look at him like he's not an NFL receiver, fuck you, but he is. He's just.
Let's see. He's my current,
the apple of your eye this year.
Well, I mean, he's what I loved about Wes Welker, and I thought when Welker went away, we wouldn't have him again, and I forget who kind of filled that role before Edelman took it over.
It was Edelman. Edelman.
Yeah, it was pretty much seamless. Yeah,
they had the old.
He was the one
made the old Wally Pitt comment when you're in the
there's
preseason.
somebody else that's been in the mix, but Edelman's clearly the But yeah.
Oh, they technically signed Amendola to replace
Oh,
Welker.
that's what I was thinking. Amendola, and Amendola's been a great. I mean, not the same role, but
yeah,
He's a great playoff performer.
yeah,
yes, he is.
yeah.
Who might be coming back this year? He's
Really?
getting cut. He's getting cut.
I don't think there's a chance in hell.
Really? I do.
I know. After what
I don't.
Belichick has a long memory, and
does.
he does not care about putting you out to pasture.
There's no wide receivers this year in the free agent pool.
You had no wide receivers and just won a Super Bowl. You think
That's
that's
true.
going to make him sign
Yeah.
anybody?
Yeah,
That's not going to make him make.
More running backs.
but Edelman's
Yeah.
my number
We'll go
2,
for tight
right?
ends.
Okay,
so
excellent.
feeding right off of you, and for that reason, I like the spirit of a player, the energy of a player, and what that does for the team and the teammates and the fans, right? Yeah. Seeing the way he attacks things, whether he catches it or not, whether he's an effective person and a player or not, he is never not just completely there, completely wired, but not crazy. He's crazy like a fox. Like he knows where the markers are. He knows where the run, where the pattern. He knows everything, and he is giving every ounce of his energy.
Yeah, he's never going to come up on the wrong side of the sticks.
Nope.
Yep.
He's never going to bitch about money or not getting his touches. I swear to God, like he would jump in front of a bullet for Belichick or Brady. I swear to Christ, he would.
Yeah.
He's nuts.
No question.
Yeah. So my number 2 is Edelman.
Edelman.
God, you guys are going to be all over me because there's zero recency bias here.
No, that's fine. I kind of front loaded. So
yeah, the first run is still my favorite of the 3. My number 2 is somebody that didn't win a damn thing, but was Gronk way before Gronk, and that's Ben Coates.
Oh, Ben Coates.
Yeah.
Ben Winter Coates. I love Ben Coates.
In a time where tight ends weren't doing that, like Gronk is clearly on a different level than anybody else. But you have Kelsey.
That's just height.
You have a bunch of guys who do similar things. Maybe not. I mean, Kelsey's numbers were better this year. So over recent years, they were way better this year.
Oh, yeah.
But Coates was doing this at a time where tight ends weren't catching the ball.
They're blockers.
And he's taking balls 70 yards from Bledsoe. I mean, you go back and look, he was Bledsoe's favorite receiver. He was the leading receiver on that team.
Definitely. I mean, there's that one year Glenn had 98 catches the year they drafted Terry Glenn when they went to the Super Bowl. Better than that, he's all Ben Coates.
He's the reason why you were able to stick Bledsoe in there from game 1. He had a security blanket from day 1, and it was just that came back up in the Super Bowl run. You saw some of those highlights being brought up again, and you forgot exactly how big and fast this SOB was. He was huge.
Awesome. I was very happy when he got his ring with Baltimore in 2000.
Yeah.
That was insane, dude. Him and Shannon Sharp on the same team was like almost unfair.
Yeah. No, that was a hell of a
shows you how
duel.
bad Trent Dilfer was. He should have had like 5,000 yards that year.
Still a Super Bowl champion.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely.
Him and Doug Williams.
Yeah. My number 2 is Big Vince. Love Vince Wilfork.
Yeah.
I mean, everything Frank said, like the picks and just like, I mean, he didn't stand out on a stat sheet, but he swallowed centers and guards. You had to double, triple team him all the time.
Yep.
You could, I mean, he was the man.
Because he was that wide.
Exactly. He was awesome. Yeah. He was awesome. And like,
But he was athletic as hell.
Yeah.
It's quick.
And it just, you can tell he was such a good team guy. The fact, I mean, he held out a little bit to get his money. He said the Patriots like to pay guys, stuff like that. But I don't think Belichick ever held it against him or the team did because he was the honorary captain this year of the game. He comes back all the time. He only went to Houston for a couple years. And like, especially like him on Hard Knocks that year when he went to the Texans with the overalls and no shirt on. It's just, I mean, he's a funny guy. So, and I've been to his draft party a couple times and he's just the nicest guy. And he's just he's awesome. So I'm going Vince.
Obviously, I agree with you. So my number 1 is Gronk. I love the way if you see him in a wide shot, he looks like he's not the same scale figure as everybody else on the field. Right? It's
he's
not just his height. There's other tall guys, but he just seems to not fit, right? These other giant guys. And I love seeing the ball come out of Brady's hands in that floating arc that tells me this is being put where nobody else is going to touch it. It's going to come down in Gronk's outstretched hands and the other poor guys, barely touching his mid forearm behind him. It's just, and he's a big, dumb, goofy.
Oh, it's a box of rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But my kids love watching him on I don't know if it's an active production anymore, but this, America's Funniest Home Videos
the
type
Nickelodeon
thing.
thing.
The crash thing they watch. And I mean, just looking at the gleeful look on his face when he's at a party, drinking and hanging out with, women he probably shouldn't be hanging out with and stuff like that.
He's got a girlfriend now. He's much better.
I'm sure he is. And I just like that aspect of he's just somebody I enjoy having on the team. And it hasn't been great to see him go through the injuries and see him drop off. At the same time, seeing him, he's had critical blocks all year.
He played great this
year.
year.
He was a blocking monster this year.
That being said, I hope he walks away.
I
want him to walk away while he can still walk.
Yes. Yeah. So I'll be interested to see what happens.
Or dance, for that matter.
It's the number of times the broken legs, the blown out knees, the back was shot before he got here.
Oh yeah. I'll be surprised if he does this season.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
It was like on like a 8-game half a season pitch count kind of thing or something weird like that.
Yep.
Yeah, it's tough though. I'd love to see something like that. But if you're going to play him, this is the guy who, when your favorites, all the sports talk radio, you're up by 30 points. You got to start pulling guys.
Yeah.
No. You only got so many guys.
Yeah, exactly.
You're going to be playing the same people that were bitching that he was blocking for an extra point because of the one time he got hurt when he did it for the previous 4 years before he got hurt.
Yeah, I know.
Nobody noticed it before,
hurt.
but he happened to get dinged that one time,
Yeah.
So, no, I just hope he's clearly an all-timer.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a Hall of Famer as soon as he retires. You just want him to retire healthy.
Yeah.
He's got a big-ass contract waiting for him in the WWE.
Oh, yeah. He's got plenty of money,
movies with Dwayne or...
Hasn't spent a penny yet, so...
Awesome.
No.
He's got money. Talk about...
That's why he did the damn Tide Pods commercial.
Yeah.
He needed more endorsement money.
Yep.
He doesn't touch his checks.
Good.
Never spent a penny from football.
Nope, he's loaded.
So, he'll be fine. He still has a roommate down in North Attleboro.
Yeah. He has the same pair of jeans he wore in high school. It's like...
Yeah, holes and sweatshirts, the whole thing.
It's
ridiculous. Ridiculous. All right, so my number one, again going in the Wayback Machine, and DJ had to bring up a really fucking painful memory. The only time this is the bookend to my taking my father to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
I actually told my father to get the fuck out of my house one time because he drove me so nuts. And it was during that infamous Buffalo game. My number one's Lawyer Malloy.
Oh, really? Lawyer?
Yeah.
No way.
Lawyer, for much the reasons you mentioned about Edelman, you don't have that defense in 2, 3, 4 without that foundation that Lawyer was the first one there.
Yep.
He was the heart and soul. He was the one just dropping his head, taking people out.
Mm-hmm.
You had that defensive backfield of him and Law. I can't even, Otis Smith was playing on the other side for a little while.
Otis, my man Smith.
I think he was 45 years old when we got him. Otis is like in a retirement home now, for God's sakes. But no, he was that emotional leader. He was that first guy. Go back to that first Super Bowl win. The first guy Belichick goes over and hugs his Lawyer.
Yep.
It's him, Belichick's daughter, and Lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
And from day one, he was always the favorite. My wedding gift for my wife was my first ever authentic jersey. She got me the authentic Lawyer jersey, which is still hanging in the closet upstairs.
That's insane.
No, he was always the one that I'd go hunting for autograph signings at Rotman's.
Oh, yeah.
They used to do them after every Super Bowl. They'd have it up in like the outlet upstairs, like this.
Yeah.
Hanging out with curio cabinets and buffets and shit like that, waiting to go see the players. Nice. But yeah, he was the one. There used to be all kinds of autograph signings by DJ. Greendale, they used to have, Vinatieri was at Greendale when I saw him, those kind of things. But no, he was that kind of heart and soul, the emotional leader, just kind of throwing his body around before it crushed me. Oh, did it fucking crush me when they cut him.
I got a story about that.
And my father was busting my balls the whole first half. I'm like, you can finish your fucking lunch and you got to get out of my house. I'm like, I can't listen to you anymore.
The Lawyer Malloy.
You just got to fucking leave.
I can remember being, I'm in my...
I did that Springsteen concert.
Yep.
I went to it after that game.
Yep. So I'm in my car. I'm in college in Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in my car driving in. So obviously, we're 3 hours back or whatever. And I'm listening to their sports talk radio. And it's not good. But they bring up that the Patriots signed Rodney Harrison.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember the whole day at school be like, Rodney Harrison, Lawyer Malloy on the same team. Oh, fucking good night, NFL. It is over. Fucking wrap the season up. No one's going over the middle against us. We're going to fucking kill everybody. Mm-hmm. And then on the ride home, it was the Patriots released Lawyer Malloy. And that was the first time where, like Chris was saying, I was like, what the fuck? Who the fuck does this guy think he is? Like, it's over. Like, they wouldn't won. They pissed the fucking rest of the team away.
Lawyer was making 2.5 or 3, and they got Rodney for like $1 million and change because Rodney had been released by the Chargers.
Yep. And
they'd cut him late.
that one hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Before you get to your number one, that makes me think of another factor of being a Boston sports fan that is part of massive bitterness for me. Fucking Red Sox, Yankees, fucking Patriots. Being on the East Coast for sports is bullshit because so many games go to 11:30, 12,
Oh, yeah.
And
5 hours past your bedtime?
Yeah, I got my buddies in California. They're like, oh, yeah, we're watching the night game.
Yeah.
Bite me.
I used to get, when I was in Hawaii, to start watching football at 7 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday. It was the best.
Yeah. No,
I love being in Vegas during football season.
Oh, yeah.
Grab a coffee, head down to the sports book.
Yeah. But yeah, but much like Chris, like the Warrior Boys, he's not my number one because, like I said, I'm living in the now. But that was the first time where like understanding football as like a grown up, quote unquote, if you want to call me that, it hurt. Like I felt that one like that for a long time.
That was the first season you truly saw how vindictive Belichick was too. To have the bookend, they lose 31-0 in the first game, and then to keep the starters in when they had nothing to play for.
Yep.
I mean, I think it put them to 14-2 that year. 13-3, 14-2.
Yeah. Just to get the score to 31-0 at the end.
Just to get the score to 31-0. Just for the little fuck you to rub it back in their face.
Yep. And then Molloy went to Seattle after, I think, that year.
He bounced around a little bit. He played in Seattle
Atlanta.
He played in Atlanta for a while. Yep. But he still comes back.
He comes back, and you see him hugging Belichick
all the time.
He was at Taiwa's jacket ceremony.
He's down on the field. He's still back all the time.
And if it's still, he won the one out of the 6. He won the one. He walks into a bar in Boston. He's not paying for a drink.
No,
he's not buying anything.
Nope.
That's one thing. Like we got like status. Some of these guys.
My first Jeep had a license plate, Pat's 36.
There you go.
And I have autographed here somewhere from him.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yep.
So my number one is Gronk.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just Gronk. So I stopped doing it the last couple of years, but I used to like be the one. I'd be outside on my back porch watching the draft on the TV with the draft board. I'd have my people I wanted, and I always think like Gronk was like the first time they listened to me kind of thing, where I used to watch a lot of Arizona football.
Some crazy, it's crazy.
It is.
Boston
I would start playing for the draft the Monday after the Super Bowl. And I used to live in Arizona, went to school in Arizona, used to watch a lot of Wildcat football, so I knew where he was, and I knew he was going to slip towards the end of the first round because of the back thing. And I kept telling all my friends, I'm like, we want this guy Gronkowski from Arizona, trust me. They're like, who the fuck is that? He's a tight end. We're not going to draft a tight end in the first round. I'm like, bullshit. We drafted fucking Daniel Graham in the first round. Drafted Ben Watson in the first round. I'm like, it's going to happen. And they didn't pick him in the first round. I was like, And they trade up in the second round. He was still there. And I was like, oh, come on. And they called it Rob Gronkowski tight end. And I was like, I was at the draft board to go out. Actually, I got Spikes right that year too. This year they got Brandon Spikes.
Spikes. You get Cunningham that same year? You get both of them, my Florida
Hernandez
guys.
that year too.
You got Hernandez. Yeah, it was a big Florida draft.
Big 40 year. Oh, yeah. Jermaine Cunningham.
Jermaine Cunningham.
I loved having Hernandez and Gronkowski. It killed me when Hernandez was a dipshit.
Nice pun. So, like I said, he, on top of the fact that he's all worldly, he's the, if he was healthy, it's still not a doubt, even though he missed a bunch of time. He's the best pure tight, two-way tight end to ever play football.
Yep.
No offense to Tony Gonzalez or Ben Coates or some of these other guys.
His numbers are better than Gonzalez through the first 9.
Oh, they're insane. He was a cheat code. I play a lot of video games. He was a cheat code. He was when you could create your guy in Madden and give him all 99 to make him 7 feet tall and just run through everybody.
He was the Bo Jackson playing Tech Mobile.
Exactly. He was Bo Jackson.
You ran the sweep to the top of the screen, and you scored every time.
Yep, there's a guy online who updates Tech Mobile Super Bowl every year. And like Gronk's second year, if you just press the Gronk button, he'd catch it no matter what. Like I swear to God, he did it on purpose. Even if the fucking ball was nowhere near him, he'd just catch it and run for it. You couldn't tackle him. And even though like it's gonna sound weird because he's younger than me by a few years, but he's the guy you always wanted to be. Money, hot
if you
chicks,
couldn't be Chris
parties.
Davis or Batman.
If you couldn't be Chris Davis, I'd probably.
Oh no, I got some Gronk stories for you. Like even better.
He's just. I mean, he has a lot of fun. Like I said, he's held on to all his money. He's not. He had some surgeries and shit, whatever. But just, I don't know, he's an old timer. He's fun to watch, and stupid stuff like the British soldier spike in the London game when he's like it's just stupid shit like that. And the fact that I was at WrestleMania. We were at WrestleMania the year he did WrestleMania, and it's just he's the Gronk.
That's
man.
the loudest I yelled that entire WrestleMania.
Yeah,
because they showed him at ringside. No.
Second loudest because the Hardys came back that year too, and I almost fainted.
No, I knew about that beforehand. They had the party, and there was reports on Twitter that the cars had gone to grab them.
Yeah. But so my number one's Gronkowski.
Obviously, I agree.
So as we didn't mention them, no offense to some of the all-time greats, Troy Brown,
Riche Caldwell.
Fuck Riche Caldwell. If he's catching that fucking ball, we're looking at 7. Fucking asshole.
Bitterness.
We would have played Rex fucking Grossman. Anyway, so Troy Brown, Ty Law.
To be fair, that was more the defense not protecting an 18-point lead.
Matt White, Gerard Mayo, Ted Johnson. I mean, we can keep going.
Go back to Kevin Turner.
Max Lane.
He was Devlin before Devlin.
Yeah.
Now, poor guy. We won't talk about how it ended.
Yeah, Devlin's a good player too. I mean, but we've had some all-timers, man. You know, you brought up Brandy Moss, and it's just it's been a fun run. Vrabel. Oh my God, no one mentioned Vrabel.
You mentioned Vrabel.
No one mentioned Vrabel.
No, we didn't. You got to give props to the Parcells and Bledsoe. None of this happens. The team's not even here. It's a St. Louis team if those two don't save it here.
Yep. And probably the most important player in the history of the New England Patriots. Thank you, Mo Lewis.
Who?
Because if he doesn't light up Bledsoe on the sideline with that late hit, Brady probably doesn't get in, and none of this shit happens.
Heather and I were like 7 rows back on that.
Oh, yeah.
I thought he was fucking dead.
Oh, yeah.
It sounded like a gunshot went off.
Yeah.
I've never seen somebody hit that hard.
Yep. Yeah,
it was awful.
Yep. So, okay, we're not going to bore everyone. No more Patriots talk, I promise. Just
4 more episodes of all Patriots
stuff. Patriot stuff. And it's we're not trying to say we're better than anyone out there because we're New England fans, but we're New England fans and we're just a little bit better than all of you.
DJ is not speaking for me.
No, I'm still
can speak for me.
I'm still on a Super Bowl high. Don't mind me. So I'm still kind of hanging from
hats and t-shirts arrived today.
Nice.
I got I pre-ordered the big felt banner with the 6 embroideries on it. Yeah.
Very nice.
So if anyone wants to actually, this week, don't hit us up on Twitter.
Fire away. You can send it all to Chris.
Bring it all to Chris Davis _37. Light his ass up like a fucking Christmas tree.
Please.
Yeah, if you want to yell at us at DJ Not, at Vacaboca, fucking bring it on, man. We can defend pretty much everything. If you want to bring up tapes and Aaron footballs, don't
send them to Sean.
Oh yeah. Mr. Ideal Gasol himself, Sean Hogarty.
Hey man,
he went to MIT. He will
fuck
every
you up.
Qualified, certainly MIT student, but every qualified engineer or anybody else, the minute that came up, everybody's like, Ideal Gas Law. You guys don't know what the hell you're talking about.
I know.
Yeah.
And
I own a car in New England. I figured it out pretty damn quick.
And to the 10-year-old kid on Barstool who did the project on time where he's a cheater, fuck you, kid. Have a good night, everybody.
Later.